Thank you for purchasing your new Graco sprayer. Graco is the worldwide leader in painting equipment, with over 85% of professional contractors naming Graco as the best brand available. Graco's line of painting equipment is the top choice of serious do-it-yourself homeowners, remodeling contractors, handymen, and other tradespeople. Once you experience the time savings and quality of the finish provided by your Graco sprayer, you'll never want to use a brush or traditional roller again. The purpose of this DVD is to help you get the most out of your new sprayer. You will be surprised by how fast, fun, and easy it is to spray your coatings. Included on this DVD are additional bonus sections with pointers on common painting projects. Check the DVD menu to access these bonus sections. Before using your sprayer, we recommend watching all of the following: getting ready to spray, how to spray, cleanup and storage, basic troubleshooting, and accessories. Watch these sections, read your manual, and you will be spraying with professional results fast. Safety is an important consideration when using any power equipment. Make sure you read over all safety warnings, instructions, and the manual that came with your Graco unit before operating your equipment. In getting ready to spray, we will discuss site and surface preparation, product safety, sprayer components, unit assembly, startup, and selecting the right spray tip. Using your Graco machine as either a paint sprayer or with a pressure roller attachment requires minimal added prep work. Like any painting project, you'll need to prepare the surface you're painting and protect the surfaces you want to keep clean. Consult the store where you purchased your sprayer for tools and products that make site preparation fast and easy. You want to move as much of the furniture out of the room or the area you're painting as possible. Make sure to have plenty of space for your tools and equipment. Cover any furniture, plants, and vehicles in the area. Cover everything you don't wish to get paint on. This includes removing or covering light fixtures. Mask and paper around trim, doors, and windows. Turn off the electrical supply to the area and loosen or remove cover plates from light fixtures and electrical outlets. Remove heating and air conditioning vent covers. Also, remove any drapes and the bracket hardware. If painting a door or its trim, remove the door and place it across two sawhorses or a table. Remove all the hardware from the door. Repair all nail and screw holes with a spackling compound using a putty knife. Look for cracks or holes and fill them in with putty as needed. Remember to sand any rough areas. Scrape off large areas of peeling paint. Caulk or fill in all exterior cracks and holes. In cleaning the surface, follow all directions on the material container. Remove all dirt, mold, and mildew. Wipe all surfaces clean. A pressure washer with cleaning solution may be used to clean exterior surfaces. It is important to allow all surfaces time to dry thoroughly. The last step, safety, is one of the most important preparation steps. For your safety, read the operating manual and review all safety precautions for your paint sprayer and the materials you are spraying. Some of the basic safety precautions are as follows. Use your equipment only in a well-ventilated area. It's important to note that for your safety, you never want to squeeze the gun trigger when the spray tip is between the spray and unclog positions. The tip should be secure and completely inserted in the guard housing and pointing forward. Never put your hand in front of the tip and never point the spray gun at yourself or anyone else. High-pressure fluid can pierce the skin and cause a very serious injury. If this happens, seek immediate medical attention, even if the injury is small. Injection injuries are very serious. Always engage the gun trigger safety when not spraying. Only use grounded electrical outlets and 3-wire extension cords. Refer to your manual for extension cord requirements. Always relieve the system pressure before leaving, cleaning, checking, or servicing your equipment. Always wear protective clothing such as gloves, eyewear, hearing protection, dust masks, and respirators. Wear clothes you aren't concerned about getting paint on, and cover your head with a hat or spray sock. If you spray solvent-based coatings, consult your manual for important safety precautions specific to flammable materials. Always refer to the specific instructions and safety procedures for the spray equipment you are using. With the area prepared for spraying, it is time to get familiar with the sprayer. No matter which Graco sprayer you purchased, the basic components are very similar. Consult your manual for information about operation with advanced features of specific sprayers. Let's look at the basic components. Let's start with our control settings. Graco sprayers have three separate controls: the on-off power switch, prime spray valve, and the pressure control knob. The pressure control knob allows you to control the spraying pressure. Turn the knob clockwise for more pressure and counterclockwise for less pressure. The knob has four symbols to help you determine the desired pressure setting. The first symbol is the pressure roller symbol. This setting is used for the pressure roller accessory. The second symbol is the priming and cleaning symbol. Use this setting for priming and cleaning your sprayer. The third symbol is the low pressure spray symbol. This setting is used for spraying at lower pressure when using lighter material like stains and enamels. While the fourth symbol, high pressure spray, is for spraying at the highest pressure for heavy materials like latex or acrylic paint. Turn the prime spray valve horizontally for the spray position and vertically for the prime position. Priming fills the sprayer with paint or other materials, either for painting or storage, and is required for proper operation. The prime spray valve is also used to relieve pressure in the system. The power switch is located on the backside of most sprayers. The suction tube, the larger of the two tubes, draws the material or paint into the system, while the smaller prime tube or drain tube is used for draining material or waste from the system. The inlet screen is located at the bottom of the suction tube and prevents objects such as twigs, leaves, or rocks from being sucked into the system and damaging your sprayer. The power flush attachment is an easy way to clean the sprayer system if you're using water-based paint. Some Graco Magnum sprayers come with an InstaClean filter. This filter keeps you spraying longer by reducing spray tip clogs. The filter is automatically cleaned when the prime valve is used to relieve pressure. Other Graco sprayers include a manifold filter that should be removed and cleaned after each job. Your Graco sprayer comes complete with an airless spray gun and hose. The particular gun that you own depends upon which sprayer you've purchased. However, all Graco guns come with a tip and tip guard and a removable gun filter for easy cleaning after each use. Assembling your new sprayer couldn't be easier. It's practically assembled right out of the box. First, connect the hose to the sprayer at the fluid outlet and tighten it with a wrench. Now, connect the spray gun to the other end of the hose. If the hose is already connected, make sure the connections are tight. Use 2 wrenches to tighten connections. Unscrew the spray tip guard and assembly from the spray gun. Once the guard assembly is removed, uncoil the hose and let it lay flat. It is natural for the hose to recoil a bit. Make sure the power switch is off. Turn the pressure control counterclockwise. Now go ahead and plug the unit into a grounded wall outlet. And that's it. Let's get ready to start the unit. If your sprayer is brand new or has been in storage, you'll want to flush out the storage fluid. Be sure to put on your safety glasses before getting started. A spill tray can be used to catch any paint drips and keep your painting area clean. To flush out your unit, turn the prime spray valve to prime. Separate the prime tube from the suction tube and place the prime tube into a waste pail. If spraying oil-based materials, submerge the suction tube in mineral spirits or compatible cleaning solvent. If spraying water-based materials, submerge the suction tube in water. Make sure the unit is plugged into a grounded outlet. Turn the power switch on and turn the pressure control knob slowly clockwise until the pump starts. Because Graco sprayers feature a demand delivery system, when you first turn on your sprayer, the pump may not run until the pressure control knob is turned up to a point that demands delivery. Your Graco pump lasts longer because it only pumps when needed. Allow fluid to flow out of the prime tube into the waste pail for about 30 seconds until the fluid is running clear. Turn the power switch off. You are now ready to prime the unit and hose with paint. Stir your paint to make sure that it's fully mixed. It's a good idea to strain your paint. Use a strainer bag to rid the paint of any unwanted sediments that might affect the finish and clog the spray tip. Now submerge the suction tube into the paint pail with the prime tube still in the waste pail. The prime spray valve should still be in the prime position. Turn the power switch on. The sprayer's motor should begin to run. When paint comes out of the prime tube, release the trigger safety on the gun and squeeze the trigger into the waste pail. Keep the trigger squeezed while turning the prime spray valve horizontal to the spray position. Be sure to squeeze the trigger during this step. Continue triggering the gun into the waste pail to pump the water out of the hose until you see paint coming out of the gun. At this point, go ahead and release the trigger and turn the gun safety on so the trigger cannot be accidentally squeezed. The sprayer, hose, and gun are now loaded with paint. You can now clip the prime tube back onto the suction tube so both tubes are now in the paint pail. Remember to turn the pressure control clockwise to increase spraying pressure to high spray. Now it's time to install the tip and tip guard. Before installing the tip and guard, double check the safety on the gun. Attach the tip and guard assembly onto the gun and hand tighten the retaining nut. Be sure that the arrow-shaped handle of the spray tip is pointing forward and that it is inserted or seated completely into the housing. The arrow-shaped handle of the spray tip points forward when it is in the spray position and can be turned backward for unclogging the spray tip. This is why Graco tips are called reversible spray tips. Tips can also be used to spray either vertically or horizontally depending upon their position in the housing and your preference. Remember, never put your hand in front of the spray tip and never point the spray gun at yourself or anyone else. Selecting the correct spray tip is vital to the quality of your finish and the performance of your new Graco unit. Your unit comes with a tip that is used in most common applications. Generally, a heavy material like exterior latex paint requires a larger spray tip hole size, and lighter materials like stains and enamels require a smaller spray tip hole size. On average, a Graco carbide spray tip will spray 15 to 40 gallons or more before it needs to be replaced. Spray tip life depends on the quality and abrasiveness of the material being sprayed. Most materials will identify which spray tip to use on the outside of their container. Make sure the spray tip size you select is supported by your sprayer. Visit Graco's website at magnum.graco.com for additional information on tip selection. Once the tip and tip guard are properly installed, you're ready to spray. Before you get started spraying, if you do not have a lot of experience, it is best to start on a large flat area, like the side of a house or other area not easily seen. You can even just spray water for practice, but make sure you let the surface dry completely before painting with real paint. In a good spray pattern, the paint or coating material is completely and evenly distributed onto the surface. There are several techniques that you can use to ensure a quality finish. Use some scraps of cardboard to test the quality of the spray pattern. Start at the minimum spray pressure and slowly increase the pressure until a good spray pattern is achieved. This is a good spray pattern. Notice that there are no runs in the pattern and that the pattern itself is smooth and even. If your pattern has what are known as fingers or tails, that is, an uneven finish such as this, then the pressure should be increased. Spraying at the lowest pressure possible while still getting a good spray pattern will save wear and tear on your pump and spray tip. If you are at the maximum pressure setting and the spray pattern is still not suitable, a smaller spray tip hole size should be used, or your material may need to be thinned. The spray gun should be held approximately 12 inches from the surface and aimed straight at the surface like this. Keep the gun a consistent distance from the surface. Move across the surface in order to keep the gun pointed straight at the surface. Fanning the gun to direct the spray at an angle causes an uneven finish. Flex your wrist at the beginning and end of each stroke to maintain an even coat. Don't spray at an angle. Keep the gun perpendicular to the surface. To practice proper gun positioning without spraying, try moving the gun and holding it perpendicular to the surface only 2 inches from the wall to learn the technique. Notice how at the beginning and end of each stroke you must flex your wrist to keep the gun and tip square to the surface. Move out to 12 inches for further practice. Work in sections only as far as you can comfortably reach. First, spray the outer edges and cut in any corners. Then point the spray tip at the edge of the previous stroke so the spray pattern is actually overlapping the prior stroke by 1/2. Trigger the spray gun after beginning each stroke and release before ending the stroke. Your arm should be moving before and after you trigger the gun. This will prevent blotches of thick coating at the beginning and end of each stroke. To ensure an even amount of paint on the surface, after completing the first stroke, aim the spray gun so the tip points at the edge of the previous stroke, overlapping each stroke by 1/2. When spraying on broad open surfaces such as ceilings and bare walls, the outside edges should be sprayed first. Then the middle can be sprayed more quickly. For inside corners, aim your spray gun into the corner, like this. Spray along the corner, painting an even amount on both sides. Typically, when painting, it's best to start at the top and work your way down. Begin by spraying any eaves or the underside of overhangs. The direction you spray is determined by the construction. As a general rule, spray horizontal and make sure you direct the spray up a little to spray the bottom lip of your siding. With a little practice, this easy-to-use sprayer will have you spraying like a pro in no time. Remember, hold the gun straight with no tilt up or down, or angle left or right. Have the spray gun moving before and after you trigger the gun. Move at a consistent speed, and when spraying, overlap the prior stroke by 50%. Allow significant time for the paint to dry before removing tape from your trim. This will result in crisp, clean lines. When you're done painting, the job isn't quite finished. Unfortunately, there's always cleaning up to do. However, Graco sprayers make cleaning up easier than you might think. If you're only taking a short break or for overnight storage to complete the job the next day, simply leave the suction tube and prime tube submerged in the paint. Relieve the pressure in the system by turning the prime spray valve to the prime position. Place your gun in a bucket of water or mineral spirits to keep the paint from drying on the tip. If the shutdown period is longer than 2 days, or if you have completed your job, then you need to completely flush out the system. Proper flushing and storage is vital to the life and performance of your unit. This video covers shutdown and cleaning for water-based materials only. If you are using a non-water-based material, such as oil-based enamel paints or stains, please see your manual for instructions. For shutdown and cleaning after using a water-based material, turn the power switch off. Turn the prime spray valve to prime to relieve pressure in the system. Place the suction tube and prime tube into a waste pail. After making sure the gun safety is on, unscrew the spray tip guard and assembly from the spray gun. Next, attach the power flush to a garden hose. Close the power flush valve and turn on the water to the garden hose. Open the power flush valve. Clean off the suction tube, prime tube, and inlet screen. Remove the inlet screen from the suction tube. And then attach the garden hose and power flush attachment to the suction tube. With the prime tube in the waste pail, the prime spray valve should still be in the prime position. Open the power flush valve. Allow the unit to pump water through the prime tube for at least 20 seconds. In order to save the paint that's in the hose, turn the gun safety off and squeeze the gun trigger while pointing the gun into the paint pail. With the power switch off, turn the prime spray valve to spray and the pressure control knob to the clean position. Turn the power switch on. Paint from the suction tube and paint hose is saved back into your paint pail. When you start to see paint from the gun that's diluted with water, move the gun to the waste pail, while keeping the gun trigger squeezed. Keeping the trigger squeezed will keep you safe and help you avoid a splashback hazard. After moving the gun to the waste pail, you will want to keep the gun triggered for about 2 minutes, or until relatively clear water comes out of the gun. Then release the trigger and turn the gun safety on. Turn the power switch off and turn the prime spray valve to prime to relieve pressure in the system. Turn off the water to the hose. Go ahead and remove the power flush attachment and unscrew the garden hose. The sprayer is now clean, but you will also want to fully clean the tip guard, inlet screen, and gun filter to ensure proper performance. To clean the tip guard, and inlet screen, simply use a soft bristle brush to remove any paint after rinsing with water. Graco spray guns have a filter in the handle to help prevent tip clogs. For some spray guns, simply unclip the trigger guard and unscrew the handle of the gun. For other spray guns, with a wrench, unscrew the hose from the gun and remove the filter to clean. Remove the gun filter and clean it with water and a soft bristle brush. Reinstall the gun filter with the round end up. Your gun is now clean and ready to be used the next time. For units with the self-cleaning InstaClean filter, you might want to check the filter before storing the unit. First, unscrew the hose from the sprayer, then use a wrench and remove the outlet fitting. Remove the filter and inspect it for debris. If needed, clean the InstaClean filter with water and a soft bristle brush. Reinstall the InstaClean filter by inserting the round end into the outlet fitting. Then use a wrench to replace the fitting into the sprayer outlet. Finally, reconnect the hose to the sprayer. For units with a manifold filter, the filter should be removed and cleaned each time you clean the unit. Now that your sprayer is clean, you'll want to prepare it for storage. You never want to leave water in the pump for any length of time because water is corrosive or can freeze and cause damage to the sprayer's pump. To protect and store your Graco sprayer, you'll need to replace the water with a storage fluid such as pump armor. Most sprayers include a sample of pump armor, which also can be purchased at your local Graco retailer. To remove the water from the sprayer system, follow the same steps as you did loading the pump with paint, except now you'll be loading the pump with storage fluid. Simply place the prime tube into your waste pail, then place the suction tube into the pump armor storage fluid. Now you will go through the normal steps to prime the sprayer. With the power switch off, turn the prime spray valve to prime and turn the pressure control knob to the cleaning symbol. Turn the power switch on and the unit will begin to pump. Storage fluid will then be drawn into the system and will soon come out of the prime tube. When you see the pump armor coming out of the prime tube, turn off the power switch and then turn the prime spray valve to spray. This will keep the storage fluid in the sprayer. Place the suction tube and prime tube in a plastic bag or container to catch any drips. Then coil up the hose, unplug and wrap the power cord around the handle, and that's it. Your sprayer is clean and ready for storage. Graco airless sprayers are built to spray a wide variety of paint and other materials. However, the sprayers are not intended to be used to spray filled or aggregate materials, such as sand, concrete, or textured materials. Please refer to the material manufacturer's specification sheet for more detailed information about the material's ability to be sprayed. Extend the versatility of your new Graco sprayer with the complete line of time-saving accessories, including pressure roller attachments, reversible spray tips, and tip extensions. Visit your local Graco retailer or www.magnum.graco.com to learn about these accessories. View the accessories section of this DVD to see how they can make your job even easier and save you even more time and labor. Using an airless sprayer will take time getting used to. If you are new to using airless spray equipment, you may want to continue watching for some basic troubleshooting information. One common issue is that the power switch is on and the sprayer is plugged in, but the pump does not run. It is normal for the sprayer's motor to shut off when the system reaches the appropriate pressure setting. Generally, this means that the pressure control knob is set at a minimum setting. Simply turn the pressure control knob to the right to increase the pressure, and the pump should begin to run, and then will stop when it reaches pressure. Start spraying and the pump should start again. Another common issue is the trigger cannot be squeezed. This generally means that the trigger safety is on and it simply needs to be put into the off or spray position. The pump not priming can also be an issue for new users of airless spray equipment. Generally, one of the following four things has happened. The prime spray valve is at the spray position and it should be at the prime position. Or the inlet screen is clogged with dried paint or debris and needs to be cleaned. Make sure the suction tube is immersed into the paint. Also, the inlet valve check ball may be stuck. Remove the suction tube and place the eraser end of a pencil up into the inlet section to dislodge the ball. This will allow the pump to prime properly. Power flushing can also be effective in dislodging the inlet check ball as well. When spraying, if you experience a sudden stop, it generally means that the tip is clogged. Stop spraying and simply turn the arrow-shaped handle pointing backwards. Aim the gun into a waste pail or scrap cardboard and squeeze the trigger. This will usually unclog the tip. Remember to make sure the arrow is in the spray position before beginning to spray. The pump runs but does not build up pressure in the system. This indicates the pump is not primed or has lost its prime. The inlet screen might be clogged or the suction tube is not immersed in paint. The paint pail may be empty. The inlet valve check ball could be stuck. Again, try nudging it with a pencil. Another possibility is that the suction tube could have an air leak. First, try tightening the connection to the unit, and if that does not work, check it for holes or kinks. If the pump runs, but paint only dribbles or spurts when the gun trigger is squeezed, then perhaps the pressure is set too low. The tip is clogged. The InstaClean filter or manifold filter is clogged, or the gun filter is clogged and restricting flow. Another possibility is that the spray tip is too large, or it's simply too worn and needs to be replaced. If your spray pattern is more round and not as wide and narrow, your spray tip is probably worn and should be replaced. A worn tip will add labor and paint costs to your project. Resolving common airless sprayer difficulties is easy. If you require more detailed troubleshooting, please see your operating instructions. Or, for further assistance, please call our technical assistance representatives at 1-888-541-9788 or visit Graco online at www.magnum.graco.com. There are several Graco accessories you can combine with your sprayer to help you complete your jobs even faster with less strain. Tip extensions and heavy-duty extensions come in a variety of lengths to extend your reach and reduce your need for ladders and scaffolding. They work well when spraying soffits, high walls, vaulted ceilings, and overhangs. Pressure rollers eliminate the need for messy paint trays and the constant bending down to load your roller in a paint tray. With the Magnum pressure roller attachment, you simply pull the gun trigger when you need more paint and keep on rolling. Pump protectants like Pump Armor and TSL protect your investment and keep your equipment running longer. Add TSL to the wet cup above the pump on Graco's ES models to keep paint from sticking to the pump rod and reduce wear on the pump seals. Load your unit with Pump Armor before storage to reduce corrosion. Graco spray tips come in a variety of spray widths and hole sizes, designed for spraying a wide range of fluids. Graco tips are made from high-quality carbide steel and will last a long time. Make sure your sprayer is rated for the tip size you choose. You are now ready to experience the speed and ease of spraying with a Graco airless sprayer. Thank you for purchasing a Graco sprayer. We appreciate your business. For further information on your Graco products, accessories, and completing your spray or roller projects, go to www.magnum.graco.com.